Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This again is another Fourth World segment presented by George Martorano. Today's a little special. I've been doing some writing and putting it on Vintage Philadelphia. You know, anything creative I enjoy, and I've been getting some receptive reviews on Vintage Philadelphia. So I continue with that. My Twitter, a lot of people, especially on the West Coast, want to know what's going on with my Twitter. Well, I forget, but I'll get to my Twitter account pretty soon. There's just so much technology, it's so difficult for me. Well, let's talk today about someone that dear to me, naturally, is my father, Raymond Long John Martorano. And it seems that everywhere I go, young, old, they want me to address him. Well, he was a man of, he came from simple means, and the street was his way of putting his life together. And some say in government that he was a criminal's criminal. But he was my father, and he was a very smart businessman, But the streets, there's a saying that my friend has a big organization called The Streets Don't Love You Back. Well, the streets didn't love my father's back, and his life was taken in 2002 from violence. So, and that happened while I was incarcerated, and the warden at that institution, the good warden at that institution, made me do the eulogy, ladies and gentlemen. I actually did my father's eulogy from prison, and I wrote a poem that was picked up in the Philadelphia papers, and the poem was called Lions Love Last. And the essence of the poem addressed to my father was that he was an old lion. And if anybody knows anything about an old lion, his territory gets smaller. He cannot run from danger, so he has to stand. He has to take his stance, and he has to live or die. Well, my father was an old lion, and basically was the concrete jungle, and he wasn't going to run, and he met his demise. An old lion met his demise. But, he's, the stories are endless with him. I hope to indoctrinate my father's stories and when I do my, hopefully, cable series, I hope to narrate and talk about my life series. And actually, my father, I would actually probably start before him, back in Italy, and then come to my father. And my neighborhood was very, very ethnic Italian, very colorful, so much so that just in my block there's old gangsters that are in the history books. There's the Lanzetti brothers. There's Tony Stinger, and you can go on. There's my father. I mean, these guys became legends of the streets that they were raised on. And sad to say, ladies and gentlemen, the streets, they took them, because the names that I mentioned prior to my father, Lanzetti, Tony Stinger, these were all handsome gangsters, and their lives were taken by the street. So, America, people like my father, America always had some kind of strange relationship with the gangster. Always. America has had that, and I hope to highlight that in my stuff that I'll be delivering in the future concerning my father and my life also. So I wanted to share that with you today, ladies and gentlemen, and until we meet again, goodbye.